What's up, yo? This is Views Podcast. My name is Derek.
My name is Chi.
And welcome to another exciting episode. You have a special guest in the building. All the time we keep telling you we've got a special guest in the building, but this time around, no jokes.
This one is actually going to blow your mind, honestly.
Yeah, like we've got a special guest in the building. It goes by the name Michaels Jnr. Now, be like,
what
I've
to say?
introduced the nigga so before.
What
mention
to say?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
All right.
he's an award-winning producer, songwriter. Everything in the musical space you can actually think of. He's worked with BTS, Young Thug, Iggy Azalea, Chainsmoker. Yo, I didn't miss something.
There's more. I mean, we'll hear
Like, so
more about
like,
it.
Basically,
let's
he's
see
been in
what
this
I'm-
game and he's actually achieving. And he's also Ghanaian. And yo, we're doing things. So welcome to the platform, Ray.
What up?
Hey, what's
what
up, guys? Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
There you go. So basically, Ray, Charlie. I don't even know where to start. Like how I've met you, and then we decided to get this thing popping. But basically, long terms. But we are here now, and Ray is like I said, the song producer is in town. He's not going to be in town for the rest of the Christmas festivities, but he's here. And we're just here to find out about Ray and how he was able to get in that space and, doing it. All we're trying to say is Ghanaian lives matter.
GLM.
You know what I'm saying? Ghanaian lives matter. And we're actually doing it big out there. Charlie, welcome again, once again, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. And thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Ray Michaels. If we do not add a John, we don't know you like you.
My name is actually Nana Kwame. I was born on Saturday. I was born in a private hospital in Cantonments, which is it's been apparently I've been told it's been broken down, but I'm a Ghanaian, and I'm trying to hold on to that as part of my heritage. I love it.
Yeah.
Trying to hold on to the broken hospital.
100%.
Yeah, but Nana Kwame. So we can call you Nana Kwame.
Please. I would love when I'm in Ghana. I love to be called Nana Kwame.
Can you speak the tree though?
Boy,
That's why you lost you.
I'm lost.
But tell us about yourself. Were you born in Ghana?
So I was born in Ghana. I'm the father of the UK ambassador to the Ghanaian ambassador to the UK. My mom moved to the UK and my dad when I was 2 months old.
Okay.
But honestly, I've always kind of had Ghana in my heart.
Yeah.
It's in my blood, and that's why now I'm here. We'll talk more about what I'm doing here in Ghana, but
Yeah.
honestly, I'm just trying to reconnect with who I am as a Ghanaian.
Great. So what's with the Ray Michael? Because that's your name on the international scene.
Yeah.
People don't really know you're from Ghana. How did you
Honestly,
come by that name?
Honestly, it's more about my dad, Jan. I think you'll know of Oheni Jan Stadium.
Yeah, I know.
It's within my family. That's one of my great grandfathers there.
Most of the the boys were named after him.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm a Jan. I'm DJAN, not GYAN. But in the UK, my father, he came to the UK and he studied civil engineering, but honestly, he felt the call from the Bible and from Christianity, so he became a pastor. So his name is Ray Jan. And when I started kind of getting involved in music and stuff like that, I wanted to remove myself from his calling because I didn't want people to type my name into Google and
Find him.
No, it's the other way around. I didn't want people actually to type in his name and looking for Christian solace and revelation and find rap music and K-pop and all kind of stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, so secular stuff, exactly. So I spoke to him and I was like, listen, out of respect, I'm going to go by the name Ray Michael. Michael is actually my middle name. His name is also Ray Michaels Jnr. My name is Ray Michaels Jnr. So I said, listen, I'm gonna go by Ray Michael within the music industry in the US and the UK.
Great. How did you get into music and songwriting and record producing?
I actually want to stop you guys there.
Okay, go for it.
I've got a question because you said you always how do you call it, more or less connected with the Ghanaian root, right? And I feel like if you know where you're from, you know where you're going, right?
100% right. 100%.
So from just that theory, do you think you had like a bigger calling because you know where you're going, and looking at where you're from, the Ghanaian roots, and holding on to that, Ray Michael Jnr. Do you think like that actually propelled you to where you are now?
100%. You know what? The craziest thing is I remember being a kid and listening to Osibisa and some amazing like musicians from Africa.
Are you related to Kiki John?
Yes, I am. 100%. The drummer for Osibisa is one of my distant uncles.
Wow.
So, my dad told me, listen, you got an uncle that's playing for Osibisa, Kiki John.
Oh,
and, when I was younger, he told me, you should get into music. His perspective was more for the church. So I started playing the drums, and that's how I started music. Listening to the rhythms of Kiki Jan and others, and really trying to understand, okay, who am I as a Ghanaian, and also as somebody that was born in Ghana but grew up in the UK. So it's a really, I think sometimes Ghanaians may not understand the dichotomy of being a Ghanaian-born British person. You're from Ghana, but maybe you don't speak Tree very well or Ga, and also you've grown up in the UK and you're not white, so you don't really belong to any specific place. It's just quite a difficult place to grow up. So when I was there, my dad had really old vinyl records of Osibisa. I listened to records like Fire and really great albums, and listening to the drumming there, that kind of, what I would say is, as a musician, that kind of gave me my bass. I was like, well, okay, this I can live with, this I can understand. So what I used to do is I used to get my dad's headphones. I used to steal them from his drawer and listen to old Osibisa records. And I'll be honest, I used to listen to Fela Kuti. I know he's Nigerian, but also that, and as well as a plethora of many jazz musicians, and try to understand what music was all about. Being in my kind of mixed heritage background, my mother was the ambassador of the late David Bashintri Sam, who was the UK ambassador to Ghana. So I always felt kind of an affinity to Ghana, but growing up in the UK, I came to the UK when I was, I think, 18 months old or less. I knew Ghana was where I was from, but I was also really ready to listen to what the UK had to offer, what the US had to offer, and maybe try to blend it within, as a musician, within my style. So that's kind of where it started.
Wow, that's mad. That's mad.
Anyway, so when did you actually decide you wanted to be a musician?
Do you know what? So, like I said to you before, my dad is very heavily involved in the church in UK, and he was very keen. I wanted to be a football player. I wanted to play football. I was looking at players like Michaels Jnr.
Like 300k a week.
Exactly. Playing for Chelsea, who I currently support. I'm sorry to those who are listening that might support Arsenal, Manchester United, but
Chelsea.
I mean, Arsenal's not doing too well right now. So
they hit Chelsea.
Go for it.
Chelsea, so it's alright.
Yeah, so I was watching those guys, and I really wanted to be a soccer player, and being Ghanaian in UK, I was really athletic and very quick, very good with the ball. Yeah. But my dad was keen for me to learn music because the church needed musicians.
Okay.
So I learned how to play the drums and the keyboard because that was what was kind of available at the church, and that was what was needed. And for me, it was just like a piece of fun. But my brother also learned instruments. But I didn't know that it would kind of set me on the path in terms of my career for where I was gonna end up.
Yeah, but what was being a musician in the gospel or the Christianity sense profitable?
No, not in any way. I tell you what happened.
Why would you be advised in that direction?
You know, my dad, honestly, and I love the guy to death. He wanted me to be a musician for the gospel, to be able to, and I'm a Christian, so I think it's important to be able to encourage people to be able to find God in whatever way they can in the church and through music. So, that was my kind of, I guess, ministry, and I was playing drums and playing keyboard and helping people. But at the same time, people in the UK were noticing me, and I ended up going to a school in the UK called the Brit School, which is a famous school, which is kind of attached to the Brit Awards, which is illustrious UK kind of award ceremony. And the head of my school said, "Listen, I think you've got something as a musician, and I think that you could be more than just playing at school. I think that you could kind of do more." So after doing that, I auditioned for a few bands, and I got picked up by Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air himself.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he was doing a show in London called Saturday Night Takeaway with Anton Deck, and he his team auditioned me at age 16, and I got called for the gig. So I was playing drums for Will Smith on Saturday Night Takeaway, and then after that, went and did a few other shows, and that kind of started my career. And that was when I realized, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be a football player. I'm going to try this music thing, as well as still supporting my family in the church. I'm going to maybe make some money out of it.
Great. I'm surprised. We've talked a bit, but I didn't know about Will Smith. I didn't know about like the real Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I'll give you a crazy story, guys. So I was on, there's a channel on in the UK called ITV, which is Channel 3. Back in the day, for those people that are maybe born before the year 2002, they'll know ITV was Channel 3. And I got the audition, and I remember being at the lunch time. It was lunchtime, and they said to me, "Hey, go to the lunch cafeteria and get some lunch." And I remember being there. I got a salad, I got a cheeseburger or whatever. I didn't know anyone there, and I looked to my left and I saw Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff. And those of you who watch Fresh Prince,
Jazzy Jeff, yeah.
Jazz and Will sitting on one table, and on another table there's another couple of guys. There's a couple of kind of people that work there, and Will's like, "Yo, man, come and sit here right by me. Come sit with us. Come and eat." So I pick up my lunch. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm about to eat lunch."
You're joking.
Guys,
With the Fresh Prince
with
of
the
Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince and Jazz.
You're joking.
So I sit at their table, and Will's like, "Yo, man, I just called Jada, this and that, the other."
Jada
Pinkett Smith. And I'm sitting there 16/17 years old thinking, what on earth is happening here? And it was a great experience. We did this TV show. It's called Saturday Night Takeaway with Anton Deck. It was okay, but it was a real experience for me, and it made me, it kind of solidified in me that I wanted to do music for real, like as a job. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it started.
Did that motivate you in any way? Is that what you're saying?
100%. Like for me, growing up in the UK as a black person, as a Ghanaian person, as a person of color, the only kind of thing that we had on TV that kind of affirmed us as black people was the Fresh Prince, and we had another TV show called Desmond's, which was a UK show about some Caribbean people.
But Fresh Prince was really about like a series. It was like, acting. So how did that motivate you in any way?
It motivated me because I think looking at Will Smith and meeting him and actually touring with him, it was great because he was a really down-to-earth character. He was a guy that could do music. Yeah. He could do acting. He could do comedy. Yeah. He could rap. Yeah. He was a really multi-talented guy. But honestly, my experience of Will when we were on tour was somebody that was really down-to-earth. Okay. Somebody that didn't care where I came from, didn't care about my background, but was really like, listen, you're a young guy and I want to encourage you. Wow. And look, I see you as a drummer. I see you as a musician.
Does he know this?
Keep on.
You know the thing, I don't really like Will Smith like that.
Really?
You don't like Will Smith?
Honestly,
Yeah,
bro,
Get Out.
no one doesn't like Will Smith. Innit? Get
I
Out,
like him.
right?
I like him.
I think he's
I
a
like
bitch.
Will Smith.
I don't.
I like Will Smith, honestly.
Nah, because I think that guy lies for no reason, like unprovoked.
I don't
Like
care.
whenever I watch his
I don't
interviews,
care.
I think he lies without provocation. Like
Yo,
I
listen,
don't get
listen.
it.
He's an actor, all right?
So what?
So he can lie with his face.
So that's the problem I have with Will Smith. Like I grew up on Will Smith. I grew up on Fresh Prince
yeah.
of Bel-Air. You know, I loved it. But growing up and it's like, yo, that's a nigga, man.
I like
Honestly,
Will Smith, honestly.
all I can say about Will was his experience. Like the experience I had of him, he was so humble,
Yeah.
so cool. And honestly, when I was like, I'm holding my tray, I picked up at the TV studios, and I'm like, I don't know anyone here. And Will and Jazzy Jeff were like, yo, come and sit with us. So I don't know. All I can say to you is that he was super humble. Made me feel really comfortable. And I was only 17 years old.
Yeah,
at the
but
time.
you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, people who haven't really made it say a lot of shit about, you know, people who have made it. So it's alright.
You think it's normal?
It's very normal. But yeah, I mean, Will, fuck Will. Anyways,
So that was around 16, 17, right?
That's correct.
So what happened after that?
So I went, like I said to you before, I did that tour, and I went on and played for some really phenomenal UK artists, including Sugar Babes.
Sorry, say that
So
again.
there's a group called the Sugar Babes who were
Sugar
like at the
Babes.
time were really
What,
big in
musicians?
the UK.
Yeah.
They were singers, and I played for Faith Evans, who is a illustrious
you
UK
work with
American.
Faith Evans, like
That's correct.
Biggie Faith Evans.
Biggie Faith Evans. Yeah, I did a couple shows there as a musician, as a drummer, which was so fun. But honestly, I lost. Like, I fell out of love with drumming.
Nah, Ray, look, like, yo, chill out.
You're saying a lot of things right now, honestly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You
chill
need
out,
to
chill
chill.
out. No,
Pump the brakes.
Will Smith, Faith Evans, all these artists. How did you do this?
Honestly, like, I tell you what, when I was younger, like I said before, I got into music, and I was playing football, but I really poured my passion into like playing the drums, playing the
You know
keys.
all about the passion and shit, but
How did that happen?
How did that happen?
How did that happen? Do you know, I went to
you don't
the
just
school.
get with Faith Evans.
You don't just wake
get
up and
with-
just
with-
stumble
with-
into it.
You know, with Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff, like
Yeah.
it doesn't just happen. Like, how did you do this shit?
Did he take an
So,
audition?
so I went to a school called the Brit School, which is
Okay.
a very illustrious school in the UK.
You mentioned.
And off the back of that, every weekend they used to do auditions.
So you're like the brilliant student.
Yeah, I was like the top of my class in terms of as a musician.
Yeah.
And they were really keen. I actually, in 2005, I did a tour. The Brit School put on a tour. I remember because I was like 15 or 16. They did a tour with the actual artists that were performing that year. And we had artists like Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, Missy Elliott, so many Snoop Dogg.
You
And that
told
kind
me
of
these.
that opened up my world, and a lot of people heard this young kid playing drums, and it was super fun. They were like,
Wait a minute.
What is going on?
Nah, I think my introduction wasn't well done.
Oh, clearly.
It was uncooked.
Clearly.
We're saying with royalty.
"No way, no way, no way, no way." No way.
Like this is, you know, as Africans we're already royal.
Yeah.
As Ghanaians we are like
We are top notch.
top-notch royal.
Yeah.
But this guy,
Is
Royalty.
something else.
No way, guys. Listen,
Something else.
I've always wanted to be in the background, and I'll continue to stay there by God's
no,
grace.
it doesn't mean you're not a royal. Like, you know, what you've been able to accomplish. Like, what you're telling us now. Like, I mean, we've had a conversation before, you know, the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so listeners, if you don't know, yes, we do talk before we start. We start actually talking to
We
you
have
guys.
a couple of drinks
And,
before. Yeah.
Exactly. But, you know, I mean, I heard some incredible stories, but this is,
something different.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank you, guys.
and this is what I like about what I'm hearing now. You see, it means everything that we've been talking about in the past, Jay, things don't just happen.
Mhm.
It takes time to happen.
Yeah.
And it's about the process. You need to enjoy and respect the process.
Yeah.
What
believe
Ray is talking about is, like he had to, go through all this for him to become who he is.
Exactly. Like I always say, like we are an accumulation of our experiences.
You know what I'm saying?
We are where we are because of the decisions we've taken.
You know what I'm saying? So if
because
you like
of the people we've met.
So if you like girls and you okay, it's alright.
This guy.
It's alright. Okay, Ray, go on. Yeah, but man, I'm surprised because I didn't see this coming. Like, I mean, we spoken, but I didn't think you had all that in.
Oh, thank you.
In royalty, man.
No way, man. Listen, honestly, like to everyone that's listening, like I really want to encourage everyone that, as a young kind of Ghanaian UK citizen, it's been a tough road, honestly, guys. Like, I'm 34 years old now, and it's taken me a minute to do the things that I wanted to do.
And people don't even know what you do now.
Honestly.
Like, you're just telling us about the story. Like, who you are is way bigger than what you're telling us.
Exactly.
And one of the things we do on Views Podcast is tell people that, if you're convinced about what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing and you give it 110%, you can actually be successful. And
100% I agree with that.
And there's a typical example of that.
Yeah, 100%.
You are a typical example of that.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So continue, my brother. Don't stop.
So for me, like, honestly, like the head of my school at Brit School told me, listen, Ray, you're only gonna ever be a drummer or a guitarist or musician. And my mom, being a typical Ghanaian woman, was like, no. Doctor,
Lawyer,
architect, lawyer, engineer. We've been there. My mom she's a lawyer and she's done well in the UK, and she was keen on that. And I said, listen, Mom, like, honestly, I feel creative. I feel like, being a musician is not the be all and end all of me. And she said, okay, go to university, go to school and study something. So she wanted me to be an architect, and I went to this school called the SAE Institute, SAE. It's an illustrious school around the world for studying recording engineering and music and stuff like that. And I was so fortunate enough to go there and study. And I learned a lot there. And I had one of my papers published about sound and
wow.
I learned a lot there, and I learned a lot about how to use the SSL desk and how to record and stuff like that. And I had so many ideas in my head about producing. But honestly, being in the UK or Ghana, wherever you are, I just, like, it's tough to get your music out there. So I went home. I set up a home studio in my parents' back garden. They had a hut or like a shed or boys' quarters, I guess they'll call it here in Ghana. And I set up a microphone, speakers, and a laptop. And I started recording songs with my friends that I went to school with, and I just so happened to... I went to school with some really phenomenal musicians. I went to school with Adele, who's a great singer.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. I went to school with Adele. I went to school with Amy Winehouse.
Yo, man.
I went to school with some amazing singers, Jessie J, to name a few. They all went to the Brit School, and they were there when I was there. And
so you just mentioned it like in passing. You went to school with Adele?
Yeah.
Like,
you know
hello?
what's crazy? Hello, exactly, right?
That girl?
Yeah, I went to school. I remember getting on the train home with her. I actually... So
you're actually on a train with Adele?
Yeah,
hello?
let me tell you something crazy. Before I moved, I used to live across the road from my school, and then I moved away to an area that was slightly further away, and me and Adele used to get on the train. And Adele used to be like this normal girl. I'm telling you guys, she was nothing special. And at school,
she was fat.
Yeah, she was overweight, and we used to have this.
What is going on?
We used to have this competition called Brit. So we went to the Brit school. It's called Brit Idol, and Adele entered Brit Idol in maybe year 2003, 2004, and she didn't win. It was supposed to be like American Idol or UK Idol, but she didn't win. And I never forget her coming home. She was on the train crying, I didn't win, blah, blah, blah. And the judge was one of the older school. Like, we had year 12, 13, and 14. These are school years after, your normal we call them GCSEs here. I'm not sure what they call them, like high school.
Yeah.
years.
Depends on the school you go to.
So
but
sixth
still
form,
call
these
them
are sixth form
GCSEs,
years, right? And she didn't win. And I remember thinking, and I remember comforting her on the train and stuff. We used to get the train home because we used to live in the same area. And she says, "I don't know why I didn't win. There's this girl called Kelly who didn't let me win. She judged me." Today, Kelly is her backing singer. Honestly, Kelly said to her, "Honestly, if I had known now where you would become, crazy. I would have voted you to win." So, anyone that's listening, I want you to kind of understand that, never give up on your dreams. The key is hard work. Honestly, the key is hard work and never giving up and setting high standards for yourself and knowing that, honestly, anyone can do it. Anyone in this game can do it. But if you're going to look for the easy way out, if you're going to want to, be lazy and shit like that, sorry, I don't mean to swear, but Adele is a prime example of somebody that, honestly, I didn't think she would make it.
Usually it's not laziness. Usually it's complacency.
100%.
Being happy with your situation, being happy with where you are, and you're thinking that next couple of years down the line you're going to like move up, But the thing is, you don't actually work to move up. You just feel like, okay, the universe basically is just aligned for me to move up. So you're not doing any work. That's how people feel. Once upon a time, that's how I felt. Right. And I understood. There was one time, I'm sorry I'm digressing, but there was this one time my dad was like, "You're good, but you're complacent." I didn't understand what he was saying. Because back in the day, complacent was a big ass word for me. Actually, I had to Google it and find out what complacent was. But I think we are where we are now because we think we are okay. Right? But if we don't stop with okay, and then we understand that we can be Adele, we can be Ray Michael, we can be more than, honestly, we can be more than who we are. So let's just not stop at okay. Let's strive for better.
I mean, I love that. Like,
I always say the good shit.
You know what I'm saying? We've been vibing with Ray, and we had some conversations, but the stories he's telling now, it's like it blows my mind. Like
he was in school with Adele.
Yo, I spoke to Ray yesterday.
Riding a train with
so
Adele.
Let me also tell a story. I spoke to Ray yesterday, and he asked me what I do for a living. I told him, I was like, "Yo, I don't fuck with that at all." And I was like, "Look at you now."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, "Look at you now," because I know he's accomplished.
Yeah.
But my level of accomplishment, even though I've had some like background information.
Yeah.
Like what he's telling me now is like
crazy.
I knew he was really accomplished. Like, but what he's telling me now is like
crazy
accomplished.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea.
And the funny thing is, back in the day, his parents wanted him to be in your position.
You know what I'm saying?
They wanted him to be like a doctor, an accountant, and an engineer.
I hate my job.
No way, man.
Here he is now, riding a train with Adele like it's nothing. Usually, like before we even started this podcast, Ray Michael mentions artists like they are. Oh yeah, we met this guy called. Like it was some guy in passing. Like, you get me?
Like it'd be normal. Like
it'd be normal.
Passing, like, and you see all the stories that like you've told us today.
Sure.
Not everything is going to get on the podcast, but this particular one, I want you to tell us a story.
Okay, sure.
The BTS story.
Oh, okay, sure. BTS,
yeah. Look, if you're listening to this and you don't know who BTS is, I can understand because I didn't know who BTS was.
You are just like Derek, living on the rock.
I had no idea what was going on until I was put on as well. So listen to BTS. And if you don't know who BTS is, Google it. And then you understand who we are talking to. Ray Michaels Jr.
Yeah. Sure. So, what's crazy is I was kind of like I said to you guys before, I was in the music. Sorry, I'll put my phone in silent. I was in the music industry for a while, and I was trying to find my place. Being a musician was great, but I remember watching a documentary of Quincy Jones and watching him working with Michael Jackson, and I always wanted to be in that place. Like, wow, what he does is amazing. He's in control of all the music. He's in control of how the drums sound, how the guitar sounds, how the beat sounds, how the vocal sounds, how Michael's singing that lyric, and it blew me away watching that documentary. And I wanted to be a producer, and I was fortunate enough at 24 to sign my first deal with Sony ATV in the UK, and I made some great records with producers and collab with producers who, working with Iggy Azalea and people like Jesse J and Ellie Goulding and so many, Conor Maynard, great UK artists, and my career kind of...
Don't need to cut you, but I want people to know that, yes, they did indeed hear
BTS
and
J, what's up?
Iggy Azalea,
Iggy.
Conor Maynard,
Go on.
Rita Ora.
Nah, I just want people to know.
Phenomenal.
I just want people to know. That's all.
Thank you.
Normal.
But that was such a great experience. But the thing about the music industry is it takes no prisoners. It's super like today you're hot, tomorrow you're not. And for me, being signed to Sony ATV wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me. And as a musician, I've never been satisfied.
Something you're just saying like it has no value. Like you're assigned to what?
I was signed to Sony ATV. At the time, I signed to a guy called Rakawusi, who was the head of Sony and in the UK, and I was signed to a lady called Sarah Sennett.
Again, he's just trivializing the thing. Like he wasn't signed to Sony.
Like Sony no being it's in.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
like,
I don't want to say it like that. I want to say like I want the listeners, especially musicians that are listening, to understand that I'm a simple guy, really humble guy that wanted to make music and.
But that's the point. Like you're signed to all these big record labels, and you're still down to it. I want people to understand like you can be that successful and still be humble.
100%. You know what? Here's the thing, guys. I'm a simple guy. I was born in cantonments. I moved to the UK by chance because my parents moved to the UK and my mum was an ambassador's daughter. But I came from a really simple background, and I've really had to work hard at what I've done. Honestly, I've really had to study sound engineering, study music, study producing, and honestly, I'm as this interview kind of goes on, I'm going to tell you a lot of things about what I've done, but I seriously see myself as a beginner. I see myself as somebody that's really at the entry point of what I feel that God has in store for me and what I can do. So I don't want people to listen to this interview and think, oh my God, like this guy called Ray Michael, who's worked for me, phenomenal producers, phenomenal artists, sorry. I still see myself as a beginner. I still see myself as somebody that is yet to reach my potential. And I really want to encourage people, especially my Ghanaian listeners and my brothers and sisters that are listening, to understand that, okay, sure, I went to the UK and I did things, but honestly, the biggest part of my story so far has been just working hard and studying music and listening to Fela and all these phenomenal African musicians, and Osibisa, like I mentioned earlier, also mixing it with phenomenal artists from the UK, from Europe, jazz musicians like Bob James. I mean, I could mention so many, but honestly, I think from what I've done so far, like I'll continue to explain, but it's really just been about just wanting to be in a position to be humble and to learn.
Have you worked with any Ghanaian artists so far?
You know what? I'm on the verge of that. Right now, Afrobeats is really hot in the UK and in Europe. So as I kind of go on to explain my journey, I've been more in the pop world, and it's been fun, and I've learned a lot and I've done a lot. But now I'm really fully having the opportunity to experience working with my fellow Ghanaians, and that is something that I'm really savoring. I honestly say to my friends, I haven't made it until I've worked with people that I can say are my brothers and sisters from Ghana, from Africa, my continent.
Do you have anyone in particular to work with?
Well, at the moment, I'm just about to work with some phenomenal artists like Burna Boy, which I think you guys know.
Yeah, Benham.
Who doesn't know better?
Twice as tall. Yeah, we know him.
I'm about to do a record with Burner, hopefully. Let's see how that goes. I've got a long list as a new kid I'm working with called Willie XO, which I'm really excited about. Google him, Willie XO.
He's Ghanaian.
Actually, I think he's Nigerian, but he's within the Afrobeat circle. So let's see how it goes. I'm new to it. I'm a beginner.
So far, you haven't mentioned any Ghanaian artists yet.
Honestly, I'm so sorry for that, guys that are listening. But I'm in Ghana now because that's what I want. I've done a lot of things, and I'll talk more about the BTS stuff in a minute. But like I said before, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to. And now is a time where I finally get to work on what I want, and what I want is music from my own culture, music from my blood, music from my heritage. So that's why I'm here in Ghana, ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to work with some phenomenal new artists.
All right, in Ghana, I mean, like you said, Afrobeat is like banging.
Yeah.
And I have some people I like. I'm not saying you should work with them, but I'll mention names.
Just in case.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like they paid me or anything, but there's this dude called Akan. I'm not sure. Have you heard of Akan before?
I have actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in a meeting in the UK at a label called Warner, and they were talking a lot about him. So
Really?
they said, yeah, man.
Because I thought like Akan is so good, but he's not given the credit he deserves. So you telling me like you've heard of him in a
Listen,
different...
the cool thing about music is, if somebody's popping, what I've seen is a lot of people know about them. It's more about who's going to move first. And also, as a producer, it's key to kind of keep your ears to the ground as into what is hot. So I'm really like, what I'm doing here in Ghana right now, apart from a few meetings and working with a few artists, is keeping my ears to the ground and listening to who's hot. Because that's the thing about music. It's like, it's not respecter of persons. It doesn't care if you're WizKid or if you're Akan or somebody. No, it's just who's popping right now. Yeah. So I'm here in Ghana ready to start something new. Like I said before, I've done a lot of pop stuff in the UK and the US, but I'm like, let me make some music that's real to who I am as a Ghanaian.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll tell you too. Akan and Kojo Q.
Right.
Yeah, those are my favorite artists. Okay. So I'm a bit biased, but fuck it. So Akan, Kojo Q. Yeah. It is what it is. You have some people?
I don't have people, but I actually have a question. Because listening to what you said earlier, you listen to Osibisa. Sure. You listen to Kunta Kinte, like growing up and all of that. Fela Kuti, like all growing up. Like back in the day, it was more of live band. Sure. It was more of like drumming, piano, guitar, like on the stage, real live. It wasn't really about like studio works or anything. But looking at the Ghanaian industry now, and looking at your background, like the kind of things that you are used to, because you said you're a drummer, right?
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I am.
If you look at the Ghanaian industry now, let's say Ghanaian Nigerian industry, who do you think you can actually work with to, take you back to your roots? Like take you back to like the whole live band, like enjoying that kind of music that you're used to. Who do you think you can actually work with? Ghanaian, Nigerian, whatever.
It's a great question. Do you know what? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about myself, because I realized that I haven't told you my full story. Yeah. When I tell you my full story, then I can tell you who I'm going to work with.
Cool.
So, as a musician, I went on to being a producer because I felt that, I watched this documentary on YouTube about, no, it wasn't YouTube, it was on VHS. I'm a little older than some of your viewers might be.
Back in the day.
So
exactly.
I watched the VHS documentary that my parents gave me about Quincy Jones, and I watched him working with Michael Jackson, and I thought, you know what? I saw him sitting in the studio producing, and I thought, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
So I quit drumming, and I quit being a musician, and I set up a studio in my back garden, and I started writing, and I got signed to Sony, which was really fortunate because I had a great record with a group in the UK which went to #1.
Okay.
and it was a great record. But
Do you want to mention the name of the record or the
so
group?
yeah, so it was actually a guy. It was a kid called Connor Maynard who was a YouTube kind of Justin Bieber sensation, and I
Okay.
started working with him, and we worked on this record called Royalty, as well as another record called Just in Case, and another record with Neo called.
Neo.
We did a record with Neo called
Neil.
yeah, we wrote a record with Neo called Turn Around,
Okay.
and he was like a YouTube sensation, and that kind of gave me the taste of being a producer. And we did a lot of other songs after that, but my biggest record of note was we did this song called Save Me with a group called BTS, and honestly I was at a real low as a producer. I had this really expensive studio that I couldn't afford in London, in an area called Chelsea, which is super expensive.
Yeah.
And I was kind of living beyond my means and struggling, and I had a kid on the way. And I was dying, honestly, guys.
It's a lot.
Seriously.
It's a lot to
I
do
remember, my missus told me she was pregnant. And I said, God, if this cup can be taken away from me, allow it to be taken away from me. But he didn't. And, it was the incentive that I needed. And I remember a guy called Bang, who is the owner of a record called Big Hit Entertainment, which is now one of the biggest labels in the world because they signed, they own BTS. He came to my studio in Chelsea when I was 6 months overdue on rent. And he said to me, listen, bro, I've heard some of your beats and, would you consider K-pop? And I said to him, what is K-pop? I don't know what K-pop is. Not only do I not know what K-pop is, but what does that even mean in the UK and the US market? And he said, listen, man, I don't know what it means, but, I've heard some of your stuff. And at the time, I had just written some songs for Charlie Puth in the US, which we had written, and there were good songs, but they didn't make his album, which I was really disappointed about. And those of you who are writers and producers know that, sometimes you can write records for really great artists and be super excited about what they're going to do to change your life. And then the last minute, the label says, hey, man, we're not going to use those songs. So all your work has been in vain. So I wrote these songs for Charlie Puth and Conor Maynard. And I actually wrote 2 songs for Rihanna as well, which never made it.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, I wrote a song called For Rihanna, which there's a DJ called Calvin Harris, who you guys might have heard of.
Yeah,
What?
Calvin Harris, yeah.
Calvin Harris emailed my publisher and said, listen, we want this song for me and Rihanna to do as a duo. And my publisher, Sony ATV, was super excited. And the record never happened. And I ended up giving that record to BTS. And the record became a song called Serendipity. If you Google it, a song called Serendipity, should I say. That was a song we wrote for Rihanna and Calvin Harris. And like I said, this guy came into my studio and he was like, yo, I like this song. I like these songs. I want to take them all for this new group I'm creating called BTS. And honestly, at the time, I felt like it was a joke. I didn't see how Korean or Asian music could do anything in the world
Great
apart
market,
from but honestly, I had a kid, I had a new son, and I thought, let me make some money. So I gave him the song. And I have to be honest with your listeners for them to understand that sometimes the most phenomenal things can come in the strangest of places. Honestly, if you're gonna sit down and look at everything that you do and judge it and over analyze it, you won't get what I believe God has in store for you. So honestly, I said, cool, let's do the deal. We did the deal on the song, and he called me. The first song we did was called Save Me, and the second record we did was called Serendipity. And he called me a year later, and he was like, yo, man, have you seen the numbers on YouTube that this song has done? And I was like, honestly, I forgot about it a year later, and he was like, I looked online and I was like, oh my goodness, 500 million streams.
Wow.
YouTube. 500 million streams.
500 million.
500 million. 500 million streams on YouTube.
Wow.
And like it blew my mind and I was like, wow, people actually fuck with Korean music. And I was super shocked. And then from there we did another load of records. We did songs like not only Save Me, Serendipity, we did Best of Me. We did Save Me, Serendipity, Best of Me, Fake Love, which was a big record. And listen to there's so many more. I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure if you Google it, you'll see. It was a real adventure as an African UK Ghanaian born UK citizen, making music that wasn't. It was slightly outside of my comfort zone, but making songs that I liked that were for a Korean audience and not knowing what it would do. And I remember sitting with my cousin. I came to Ghana in the year 2017, and she said to me, "Oh man, can you help me? I'm looking for tickets for this group called BTS." I was like, "Are you kidding me? BTS?" She was like, "Yeah, BTS is huge in Ghana." I was like, "What? No way!" and actually, it was that year that we had our first #1 album.
Wow!
In the US Billboard charts, and in the world charts, we went to #1 as well. And I remember thinking, wow, look at God, like something that I didn't think that would really resonate with people has, I think we sold 12 million records worldwide.
No shit.
Yeah, bro, it was insane. And so, like, what I would say to people is, honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like out here just making music and having fun, but I really want to encourage people to not to turn their nose up at something that, an opportunity. At the end of the day, the first thing I always wanted to do was be excellent at what I did and be excellent at producing, be excellent at being a musician, be excellent at making music. And then second of all, a lot of people turn their nose up at this guy called Bang when he was going around studios in London and Europe trying to find producers for this group called BTS, but you never know where your thing is going to come.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy thing. If you look at people and you think their story is going to be my story, that's completely wrong. Everyone's story is 100% different, bro.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're open-minded enough to work hard, first of all, and second of all, be able to take a chance on new opportunities and give your all into everything that you do. Don't just be like, okay, I don't respect this, so I'm going to give 20%. But this thing that I think is going to work, I'm going to give 100%. I've kind of always been a guy that whatever I do, I'm going to put 100% into it. And here's the thing. I didn't know that would be the thing that made me kind of go to that level. And, now I'm sitting here. I've 2 #1 albums on the Billboard charts. We've got multiple platinum record albums sold.
What the hell?
I mean,
I can't even tell you guys, like, that's, we're on the way to a Grammy this year for a new record that we did with BTS. We've done TV shows, we've done adverts.
Interesting.
And that has actually opened the door for so much more for me. Outside of BTS, I've done so many other American artists that I'm sure you're well aware of, such as the likes of Ariana Grande and Machine Gun Kelly and so many European artists.
Say that like it's nothing.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, and it came from a place of like being rock bottom. If I can be 100% honest with you, being rock bottom and not knowing where I was going to turn after being a musician and having a few records with a few artists and in the UK, but not knowing and being open enough to take a chance on something new.
Okay.
But saying, look, if this is new, I'm going to give 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my best songs. Like I said to you before, I wrote those songs for Charlie Puth and then were my best songs. And I gave them to BTS because I thought, Charlie Puth's not going to take those songs. Let me hand them over and hopefully let's see what happens. And bro, like, guys, I know I'm talking a lot, but I want to tell you something. I was in the O2 Arena, which is in the UK, and it's 20,000 people sell out concert. They invite me to come and listen, and I'm hearing songs that I've like written in my bathroom, written in my in my quiet place in my house, in my mum and dad's house, and I'm in 20,000 people screaming, crying these songs, and I'm like, wow, life is crazy.
Life is crazy. You know what?
I've got 1,001 questions already.
Now this is real, I know listeners gonna be like, shit. I wish I was the one interviewing this dude.
First of all, it's like, who is this?
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, I think one thing music never does is like, I mean, it pays its dues to producers, the executive producers, and all that, but people don't really, you know, pay attention to those things. The most important thing is still making the money. But for us to get somebody who actually produced these songs, wrote these songs and talking
on a
to them,
high fucking level.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
it's
it.
like it's amazing, and
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, I've got 1,001 questions. Can
Yeah,
I go?
like I have so
Can I
many
go
things
for it,
that I don't know.
please?
I don't know what to
Please,
say.
I'm ready,
please
I'm
go
ready.
for it.
I don't know what to say, and for the fact that you're a Ghanaian, it even blows my mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, because Ghanaians or Nigerians, Africans are quick to claim. Like, we said Nas was Nigerian.
I mean, here we are now.
We
claiming
always
him.
claim all these rappers and pop stars and all
Yeah.
around, but for the producers and people who are actually making things happen,
Yeah.
we do not know of them. Like, we don't pay attention much. I think for producers, the only person we know, for me personally, I can just speak for myself, is like Killbeat, because he works with Fuse
Fair enough.
ODG.
Yeah, I know Fuse.
Yeah, but we have the likes of you. We do not know
I mean,
about.
we have this guy who produces for this Nigerian guy. He's like he's got like this brown hair.
Who?
He's Nigerian.
Techno?
No, he's not. He's not techno.
But fuck Nigeria, man. We're talking
Yeah, man. We're talking about Ghanaians, sure.
We're talking about Ghanaians. God damn it.
Yeah, man. And I'm out here repping Ghana. Honestly, guys, like, it's a crazy thing, and I guess some of my Ghanaian listeners might not understand this, but as someone that was born in Ghana, I still feel so like connected to the country, and it's difficult because as a UK grown up but Ghanaian in my heart person, it's super like amazing to be back in Ghana talking to you guys, and also like super great to be kind of looking at the Afrobeats industry and how it's grown, and how I remember 10 years ago there was no Afrobeats, and Fuse ODG really put us on the map. I'll be honest with you guys.
True.
Yeah.
That's
He
true.
put Afrobeats on the map, and so now it's like I can talk to publishers where I am and be like, listen, I know I've done like BTS and I've done some really cool pop artists, but I'm a Ghanaian and I want to make Afrobeats, and they're like, cool,
Yeah.
we like that,
Yeah.
we want to hear that, it's big. So I'm super like proud for people that have gone ahead of me and made that specific style of music, and allowed me to have the opportunity to be able to come back to Ghana and actually collaborate with phenomenal Ghanaian artists. So yeah.
I've got so many questions bottling up right now.
I mean,
I feel like I don't even have the opportunity to say it right now. Listen, I'm going to steal the show right now. I'm just going to fuck it. Listen.
Go for it, bro.
Hold on. All right, cool. First of all, I asked you a question, and I don't think you've answered the question, which is looking at your background, like looking at Fela Kuti, like all the kind of things that you've been through, your love for music and the drumming and, music and all of that. Who would you want to work with as a Ghanaian artist? Who would you want to work with? Looking at, who more or less will let you feel in touch with what you've been through, or what kind of music like you grew up listening to. Who would you want to work with? A Ghanaian artist. Ghanaian, Nigerian, whatever. African artist. Who would you want to work with?
Honestly, like, if I can I love Burna Boy, and I'm about to work with him, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But Ghanaian, let me think.
Because you said you've heard Akan. I don't know if you've heard I forgot his name, but we actually did a podcast on him not too long ago. But what kind of artists would you think? Let's forget about the whole
Honestly, I love Sarkodie. I know he's old school.
Come on, okay.
But I would love to work with him. Honestly,
I mean, artists you wouldn't need this whole pyrotechnics, like stuff, like just stage music, drums, music, like piano, drums, like things. Someone you can actually take on stage, and he would basically take over the stage. Someone you can actually put on stage and feel like this is music from musicians and enjoying the kind of thing that he likes. Who do you think you can, you can work with, put on stage, and will basically kill the show for like the next 30 to an hour?
I love Shatawale.
Okay.
I love. Honestly, I know he's UK, but I know he's Nigerian, so I'm sorry for my Ghanaians. But I do love Burna Boy. How you be honest with me?
Listen, we love them regardless. Whether they're Nigerian or they are Ghanaian, we love them regardless. Look at Easy.
Yeah,
We don't even know where Easy is, but we still love him. Whether he's Nigerian or he's Ghanaian, we still love the kind of music he makes.
Like I love the blend between the live music that Burna's doing.
Yeah.
And I love, like one of my best friends, Michaels Jnr, is in the band at a minute. He's playing guitar for Burna, and when he plays me the arrangements, I'm like, wow,
Exactly.
these guys are really playing music for musicians.
I
It's
feel
not
like
just-
exactly. I feel like that's the kind of music I actually like. Like music you can actually go sit down,
Sure.
with a girl or with a couple of guys and feel like this is live band, live music coming to you unadulterated.
Yeah.
Not going through mad speakers or mad mixers or anything.
100%.
Like just coming to you, on a pure level, and you enjoy it. That's the kind of music I actually like. I feel like I'm old school, but that is, to me, that is music. And I feel like the
100%.
question is, what artists can you actually work with to deliver this kind of music to the new generation?
Well, like in Ghana?
In Ghana, in Nigeria, in Africa.
I think in Ghana, well, I'm biased, but
Sure.
it is what it is. Samini.
Yeah, I've heard some of them. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Samini is like, because you're talking about like live band and all
Bro,
of
I'm
those
talking
things.
about
It's
pure music.
It's Samini.
Pure.
It's Samini.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Manifest by
Sure.
Samini.
Bro, I love Manifest as well.
yeah, but it's Samini.
Yeah.
Samini is the guy. Like when you talk about live band and all these
Stage
things.
performance, like they know how to move the crowd.
It's Samini.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But again, I'm happy.
I'm happy you're here now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, with
Royalty, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Proper
Like we
royalty.
keep telling y'all motherfuckers, like Views podcast. We did do some shit. You know
we did bring you something here before.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we
Trust
out here and, we getting all these people you haven't heard of. And we also talk about things you think of but not, want to say. And this is a typical example of, bringing somebody you've never heard of, but he's Ghanaian and he's actually putting Ghana on the map. Because when you go online and you Google Ray Michaels, they actually tell you, they add a John to it. Because he's Ghanaian. Like, they want you to know, like, this guy is from where you're from.
Yeah.
And you need to celebrate this guy. And the fact that you haven't heard of him doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We are out here, we're putting Ghana on the map, and we're doing big things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is what it is. And
Thank you.
I would personally like to, congratulate you.
Thank you.
And tell you, how proud I am you're Ghanaian. And an American will say, I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I'm really proud, a Ghanaian, telling us these stories and working on all these artists that we idolize. But you were just there, and, their fame is actually based on you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so
That
much,
is
guys.
mad true,
You know what I'm saying? Their
Mad
fame,
true.
what we idolize is based on him. Like,
Yeah.
if he wasn't there,
Without his foundation, you
Yup.
will not be where they are right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's a Ghanaian,
True word.
doing what he's doing.
True word.
sure.
Yo, we appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much, guys. I really
Yeah, we
appreciate you
appreciate
having
you.
me
And,
on.
I know we haven't exhausted the conversation, but we'll thank you because you're a busy person and you've decided to give us, part of your time and just
A
you know
little
vibe with
portion
us.
of it.
Just a little, just to vibe with us. We really appreciate it. And the last time you're in Ghana, I'm sure we'll have a bigger podcast
For sure,
on that.
for sure.
He's winning a Grammy, of course.
He's gonna win the Grammy. He's gonna win the Grammy, definitely.
He's winning a Grammy, and
Definitely.
in case you're wondering how we go with this guy, like, hey, fuck you, but you know,
It's
it is
Fuse
what
podcast. Stop thinking.
you know what I'm
We
saying?
got it.
It is what it is. Get your money up. Yeah. Ray, anything else you want to tell listeners?
No, I just want to thank you guys so much for having me on board,
Same,
and thank you for showing me such a great time in Accra here. And just to the people that listen to the podcast, just really wanted to encourage you to put God first, number one, and second of all, just work hard. And honestly, my journey is just beginning as a musician. Like, I'm super at the beginning of my career, but I've been fortunate enough to work with some phenomenal artists. But what I want to say, as a Ghanaian, I'm so proud to be able to have done what I've done, and also now to kind of be embarking on a new style, which is Afrobeats, which is new for me. I've done a lot of pop records, but be able to embark and as a Ghanaian person, and in terms of birth, and as a UK citizen, I'm so excited about the way music is going now, and I'm so excited about how people are finally standing up and listening to our music. You have some of you understand, but having an idea of what's going on in US, UK, and people are finally listening to our music, listening to our rhythms, listening to our melodies,
culture,
our culture, 100%. And I think it's a great time. And anyone that's a music maker right now, I want to really encourage you, if you're in your bedroom or wherever you are right now making beats or writing songs, keep at it, keep making music, because you know what, your dreams can come true if you work hard enough. 100%. I'm an example of somebody that came from a humble background but was able to do a little something, just a little something. And like I said to you before, it's the beginning, but I want to encourage you that hard work does 100%. Hard work pays off, and also, excellence pays off. And believe in yourself, believe in your heritage, believe in the music that your grandparents, your parents are playing you, and put a little tweak of that in your vibe, put a little bit of essence of your Ghanaianness, of your wherever you grew up in Ghana, put that into your music and see what it can do for you, because right now I think the world's ready to listen to what West Africa has to offer. 100%.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Nice.
I like the fact that put a little bit of where you're from in that, because if you don't know where you're from,
you clearly know where you're going.
Exactly. So that's 100%, and you saw that, and you're doing it, and it's working for you, and I 100% applaud you for that. Yeah, Charlie, you have something to say?
Oof. I mean, usually I say I don't have anything to say, but I always have too much to say. Listen, I mean, the basis of the reason why we're here is, if you know where you're from, you know where you're going.
100%.
I have been with Ray Michael less than 2 hours, and the way he talks about the experiences he has been through, it makes it look. Listen, this is the most humble person I've ever been with. So much, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
He talks about Iggy. He talks about
first name basis.
First name basis. and he honestly, he makes it sound so normal, because the thing is, honestly, he doesn't know where he is, and he basically plays it down. But the thing is, he plays it down because he knows that where he wants to be clearly is not where he is now.
100%.
He wants to be more than where he is now.
Hell yeah.
So he just plays it down. It's like, oh yeah, I was riding a train with Adele. She was complaining and all of that. But the thing is, he feels like, if he's putting work into something, he's going to put 110%, regardless of whether he knows this artist is going to be the next BTS or the Adele or Charlie Puth. Regardless, he's going to put in 110%. I think that's something we need to take from him. let's never play where we are now, because where we are going to be, we do not know.
There you go.
So let's, put and listen. This guy is so fucking humble. It pisses me off, but he's so humble. Listen, Ray Michael has changed my life for the next. He is the second person on the show who has actually changed my life right now after Appeal Call. But listen, let's take a page out of him and be humble and just strive for excellence every fucking day. Come on.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
After Jay speaks, I really don't want to say shit because he's already said everything. But
you say everything before that.
This is greatness in the making.
Sure.
And I'm glad to be part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
We have met Ray Michaels Jr.
Yeah. I'd like to say one more thing before I finish.
Go on.
In the words of but I've forgotten the name. But in the words of her, she said, I'm humbled. You see me bow my head because I'm humbled in the presence of greatness.
Hell yeah.
That is Maya Angelou. You see me bow my head because I'm humbled in the presence of greatness. Now you see why I said when Jay speaks, I don't want to say shit. that was exactly what I was about saying. He said, so it is what it is. But bro, it is what it is.
Yo, man, you're listening to this like joke. We are actually in the presence of greatness.
Wow, thank you so much, guys.
Yo, really man, everything you're listening to may sound like a joke, but boy, you don't catch that level yet.
You never catch.
Yeah, and we are actually privileged.
Thank you, guys,
to meet Ray Michaels Jr.
Sure.
And we appreciate you.
Thank you.
We are proud of you and the fact that you're putting Ghana on the map. You're putting UK on the map, but
Ghana, 100% Ghana.
Indigenously, you're Ghanaian, and you're here, you're in Ghana, so you know what I'm saying, like, and I really appreciate that, and the fact that on this podcast, what we pride ourselves about is telling people you can actually make it, and everything you spoke about today is about hard work,
100%,
and going for what you want. And actually, excelling. I remember you saying something about excel. And that's what we've been trying to champion on this podcast. And even though we try to tell people that, you can do something other than entertainment, you're a true testimony of if you put the right work in, you can actually achieve in entertainment as well.
Yeah,
so thank you, bro.
I'd love to say one more thing as well, if you wouldn't mind. God, I'm a Christian, so God has been a big part of my life, and so I'll put God first and say that, if it wasn't for His grace, I wouldn't be able to do what I've done. But also, what I would really like to say is, me and my friend that write songs were like, it has to be undeniable, and when whatever you do it with the spirit of excellence. Don't be lazy. Don't be somebody that thinks, okay, that's good enough. Always. With what I've done so far, and I really want to stress to the listeners that I feel like I'm at the infancy of my career. I've worked with some phenomenal artists, and I've done a lot of great things, a lot of great stories. Like I said, by God's grace, I'll get this. We're on track to this Grammy with BTS, but I still feel like I'm in the infancy. But here's the thing: if you're not somebody that's willing to challenge yourself, willing to kind of look at, what's the mark? What's the staple? What's at the top of what I'm wanting to do? And where am I? And honestly, look at yourself. And honestly, surround yourself with people that are in the deep end. Surround yourself with people that are doing it and already there. And be mentored by them and be in a place where you're like, you know what? These people are so much better than me than what I do. If you're not there, you've got no chance.
That's a problem.
You've got no chance. You need to be in that place, bro. You need to be in a place where you're like, you know what? Every single person in this room is better than me than what?
True.
Than what if you're in a place where people around you are like lower than you or not as good as you at what you do, something is wrong. I'm telling
when
you
you're a big fish in a small pond, that's 100%.
I'm saying,
that's the problem.
Chris said that. How do you advance without an opponent?
Yeah,
you can't.
You're
stuck in your ways.
Me and my friend have this thing, you know, like I said, we're Christians and we call it, we said if we ever had a church, we call it deep end based ministries. We like to be in the deep end 100% of the time. If you're not in the deep end, forget it. If you're not in a position where you're like, oh my goodness, this guy is so crazy at what he does, and he's my friend, and this other guy is sick, and actually I'm a junior here, something's wrong.
Yeah.
If you're in the position where you're a graphic designer, where you're accountant, where you're I don't know, a medicine student, or you're a musician, you're an artist, whatever you do, if you're not surrounded by people that are better than you, that you feel push you, that you feel drive you, forget it. And honestly, the whole of my career has been that story. I've always felt like I'm in the deep end. I've always felt like I don't actually know what I'm doing, but somehow I'm going to manage by God's grace.
Jay, you know I'm happy. Nah, I've told you this thing that
you make us speak true.
everything that you do, you should make sure you're the best at that shit.
Sure.
And I've told you, my son.
You said that a couple of times.
Yeah, I've told you,
I will never forget.
and I've told you that my son, regardless, like I'm not gonna really tell him what he has to do, but if he decides what he wants to do,
whatever it
he
is,
must make sure he's the best at whatever shit he wants to do.
That's true.
And it is what it is.
That's
like,
true, man.
work hard. Most importantly, work smart.
Sure.
Very, very important.
Sure.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Charlie, we're Michael.
Would you mind if I plug one more thing before I go? I've just done a movie
Drop it.
called Prisoners of Paradise. It's an independent movie. We shot in Mauritius, and it's going to be available for global kind of viewing in all the cinemas from next year in July. So I would love to plug that movie if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, plug
I've
it.
just done the soundtrack for the film. It's called Prisoners of Paradise.
Wow.
Starring Ellie Bamba, who's the main actor, as well as Mehdi Debbie from The Messiah on Netflix. So I would love you guys, if you're free or if you have time, to check out Prisoners of Paradise. The movie is out next year, 2021, in July.
Great. Do you have social media handles people can follow you at?
Do you know what? I've been really quiet on social media. I'll be 100% honest with you guys, because I do have a family and I'm kind of trying to be low key, but so I'm not super big on social media, but so I won't plug that just yet. But you will see me on social media. Just Google my name at Michaels Jnr. and you will see me most likely on Billboard magazine. Interview I recently did for BTS. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And thank you once again, Ray Michaels, for taking time off your busy schedule and being on this platform. We really do appreciate you, and putting some gems out there for the younger ones to follow, even the older ones. Older ones still haven't found their way yet. So
it's still finding that shit.
Yeah, it is what it is. But
Yeah,
we
man.
really, we do thank you for being on this platform.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. If you listen to this podcast and you loved it, good
Thank
for
you
you.
very much.
If you don't or you didn't,
Thank
thank you, and good for you as well.
Yeah.
As always, we're just here to spark a thought and or a conversation, and I believe we just did just that.
Mm-hmm.
As always, as we say, love God, love yours, and love all.
We
And we out.